Brothers and sisters, we can't thank you enough for all your love, your support, and your faithfulness. It's been brought to my attention, if you really want to do something to bless us, to thank us, apparently simply hitting the like button on YouTube would be more impactful than what I ever knew, let alone subscribing to us on YouTube if you're not already. And then over on Spotify and Apple, please leave us a review. All of your listening and your comments to us mean the world to us. And do us a favor and just hit like on YouTube and leave us reviews on Spotify and Apple. And we're going to continue to serve you with our whole heart. Thank you so much.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Tattoo Guardians podcast. It's me, Hip, and I'm here with my two regular co-defendants, Mr. Joshua Carlton and Mr. Matt Klimmer. How are you guys?
Hello. Hey, brothers.
Awesome.
Hey. So, back by popular demand, we're doing another tattoo breakdown episode. And this one's going to be special to me because I don't know why I didn't do this at the first one, but I picked 4 artists, my 4 that had inspired me to like even take tattooing to a level that I didn't even know it existed to. So
damn, that's how you feel? Oh shit.
Right off the bat, you don't know the assignment though. It was 3, dog. Why are you picking 4?
Because I'm an overachiever.
Oh shit, there we go. Not playing small. That's what I want to hear. That's some reverse psychology shit right there.
All right, Mike. You guys ready for the first one?
It's exciting. Yes.
Okay.
Like usual, we don't know what each other picked, right?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Love.
Oh, I overheard you talking to Mike on one, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I believe it's probably the same one you showed us last week.
Maybe. Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
We will see.
All right, you guys ready for number 1?
Yes.
All right. First up is Josh's.
Okay.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. This probably looks something that you would know I would be into. This is this is an artist.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird because it's Waller Montero, but I've also seen it say Walter, so I'm not sure exactly. But what I've got in front of me is Waller Montero.
Yes.
And if you're familiar with his stuff, you've probably seen a lot of his stuff like this. It's just incredible the way he's layering these faces. I'm trying to not just include realism all the time, but I also had to be just real with myself. Like, I truly, really love this tattoo. So I wanted to share it with everybody. I also noticed the little circle. It reminded me of Deanna's piece that we talked about before, right? I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I might be ripping that off myself, right? But look at the way he's just done this. It's the beautiful grays and everything, but he's also got this, this incredible like pink color.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really love it. I would love to know some of his thought process on the designing aspect of it.
My God, yeah. And it's always impressive to me with values and someone, he this transition from opaques to color is so rich and so smooth. I mean, it's one of those, even if you made it a black and gray, it would just.
Yeah.
It reminds me of 80 Poncho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet that 80 Poncho is like a early influence on this guy, right?
And if you watch like some of his videos, because isn't he the We Make Artists or 10 Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up. I actually bought his video. I completely spaced it and I need to watch it, but I did buy his video to kind of just watch his process. So even though I've been tattooing for 33 years, like we've talked about, I'm eternally a student and I'm super interested. So I went ahead and to support a fellow artist and hopefully to learn something as well.
That's awesome.
Just constant contrast, the layout, and even in some of those little clips they got of his videos, just like the way he wipes and goes into what I can only believe was what he did the day before. He seems very gentle, but I love all his shit.
Me too.
Yeah. It's when he first kind of just like exploded onto the scene, I guess we'll call it. I was immediately like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, just the way he laid out, he would just lay out these sleeves, and it always had multiple faces. A lot of times there's really linear negative or like these really thin colored lines that like lead your eye to certain parts of the tattoo. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, we've said it before, but we're at a stage in tattooing where like everybody's so fucking good now. So like, okay, we get it. You're really good. So now what are you going to do that's going to separate you from the pack? That's going to make you stand out.
Right.
So I think with Mike being, you know, a recently graduated apprentice, this is a really good launching pad for him to say, you know, okay, yes, I need to get really good scar-free, clean tattoos. But at some point, like, what are you going to do, Mike? You know, what are you gonna bring to the table?
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah, you little bitch. What are you gonna do?
I'm about to fucking win.
Yes. That's your business card, by the way.
We're about to fucking win.
Tattoos by Mike, about to fucking win.
Cerno Yachki.
Yeah. Tattoos that sparkle like a bass boat.
Yes.
But yeah, I love this guy's work. Every bit of it. If you go to his page, it's Waller, WALER _ Montero, MONTERO. And if you're not familiar, pour yourself a cup of coffee and sit down because you're about to get wrecked.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
I love the rays coming from everywhere.
Well, and that's the thing. I always like zooming in and looking, see if I can decode approach, or even, you know, how I'd approach. And I wonder how he approached
I love that.
You know, but because those rays, you know, because one would be like, what do you do first, the rays, and then go back and pack in color, you know? But those rays aren't a solid tone all the way through. Anywhere some end, you know, and it's just beautiful to me.
Yeah. There's like a little bit of negative.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting with this one is that most of these tattoos that have multiple eyes, they kind of fuck with me, right? They give me like an instant headache.
Yeah.
For some reason, this one's not doing that to me.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I've never done one. And I'm always like, I wonder if I'd even be able to do one without getting all fucked up, you know, like seeing that multiple eyes is weird. Yeah. Do you guys feel that too sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at it, the eyes on the right, so the pink eyes, pink eye, they don't hurt my eyes. But as soon as I look over to the black eyes, they give me that feeling.
Oh, that's really interesting. I can totally see what you're talking about. Yeah, if you cover one side up. Yeah. Wow. Color fixes it. Interesting. You may have just cured COVID. You're on to something. Color fixes it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Vaccine what? Just put color in your tattoo.
Well, really, and on,
Right.
on the left, those two black eyes. The one on top's the only realistic natural one. The one below it's getting more non-human.
Yeah, kind of morphed out a little bit. Yeah.
Non-human, then human.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Nice pick, Josh. That's a
Fuck
nice
yeah.
pick out
Thank
the
you.
game.
You could have picked any of his
you.
tattoos. One, I
Yeah.
would have known who it was. And
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
I would have liked it.
Well, then who is it? Is it?
It's fucking Walter Montego, man.
Okay.
He's from Alabama. He's fucking sponsored by World Famos.
Yeah. Okay.
I love their cookies.
They're fucking got good cookies, man.
Hey.
You put them in the microwave for about 5 seconds, boy, they get soft, and you dunk them in some milk. Hell yeah.
Man. Who you got coming down the pike now, Mike?
All right, next up is your pick, Matt.
Okay. And I do remember the last breakdown we did. I brought up how we almost all picked realism guys and that we're realism guys, but that doesn't mean we don't love other styles, you know. And I said I almost brought up lettering, you know. Mike, did you send it to us? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So this artist to me is just like a fun painter. and
Right.
designer. There's such great saturation. What do you know? Talk about the power of negative space, Josh. That circle, whether it's a moon or a sun with those rabbits, are glowing.
Yeah. That's crazy. I've not heard of this artist.
Such a wonderful painter. So, on Instagram, man, I got to get my glasses. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, go for it.
It's EUNB.TT.
Thank
And
you.
it says he's in Hollywood, or they're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it might. There's
It's a girl.
picture of a female.
I think it's a
and-
girl.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's very unique. It took me a second to like realize what it was exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But once I see it, it's definitely really unique and very interesting.
It
I like the way the ears go out of the borders,
And
from
the
the
feet.
ears on the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, from the other rabbit. Yeah.
Those seem to be the only. Yep, those are the only two things breaking the mold.
Well, and that rabbit that is breaking the mold, they're a little more, not only in the foreground, but a little more realistic than the ones off in the distance that become almost more like a mural.
It kind of reminds me.
This looks to me like it's. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it looks like a design on like a gi or something.
Oh, totally.
It's
Yeah.
very
It looks also
Japanese.
like if you're not familiar with, there's an old cartoon called Watership Down, and I think this might at least be inspired from that. It's about these rabbits, and one of the rabbits dies, and the spirit comes back, and I can almost see this on one of the pictures. It looks very much inspired by Watership Down.
Got you.
So if you're not familiar with that, you should check it out. It's really, really cool story.
Yeah. And so when you check out this artist's work, she's, very fun, very versatile, very painterly, and a lot of things almost loose, but then gets away with it. But she does very versatile, like painterly style. That's why I wanted to give her a shout out, bring her up, and turn our listeners on to her to just check her out. And again, in her versatility. Mike, did I
Yeah,
bring it?
I'm going to send through that other tattoo because you sent 2 for this artist.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
I'm on her page now. Like this shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I love her.
And this is the second
Because to
tattoo.
me, I don't know why, guys, because again, I'm a sucker for like tattoos that remind me of fine art.
Wow, this is crazy. This other one you just sent
Okay.
with the New York Times.
Yeah. So just to show you her versatility, right?
Fuck.
Because the first one was like solid saturation, great darks, but look at all this. This is tech as fuck, illustrative, Michelangelo, like the tones are
Yeah, what an
beautiful.
extraordinary talent. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised I'm not familiar with this artist. Stoked that you brought her to my attention. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I see a couple of her posts where she's in Seoul, South Korea. So she's probably
Visiting
another
LA.
fucking amazing Korean artist. They've been killing it fucking lately.
Yeah. It's weird.
You're right.
Yeah, this is just absolutely beautiful. And this is something that you definitely would have to like just the client either one just really liked their work and was like, do your thing,
Yeah.
or they've put this entire thing together and posted it and said, hey, this would make a great back piece. Who's down,
Yeah.
Because imagine trying to describe this, right? You got your regular client and you're like, check it out.
Right.
There's going to be some newspaper, there's going to be some sketchy shit,
Yeah.
but there's also going to be Michelangelo.
Right.
Trust me, hold my beer.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of her
Man,
pieces
that's
are that way. And that's why I think you shed a light for me just a minute ago when you were saying that the armband that she did, you felt was based from something, right?
Yeah, Watership Down.
Right. Okay. And I bet because a lot of her pieces seem like the client came with one thing like that and she makes it
yeah.
magical. But that's
Yeah,
why
they
her
come in
work's
with an
versatile.
idea.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's basically making an allegory. She's telling the story, like her vision of said tattoo, said idea.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great pick.
Thanks, brothers.
All right, you guys ready for Hip's pick?
Yeah, man.
All right. He sent 3 tattoos by this artist.
So are we looking at, we'll start with the top one, I guess. With the medical device, it looks like. Yeah. It's really interesting. I would love to see that healed, especially where the needle goes into the arm. It might be healed, actually.
So I used to fucking creep Matt's page. And I didn't even know fucking tattoos could be done like this. And he was a local artist. So I remember, because I've shared this story with you, Matt, like, because I didn't know what he looked. Well, I did. You came to the shop. But I remember, like, the guy who I was working for when you came in there, he's like, you know who the fuck that is? I was like, no. He's like, that's Matt Klimmer. You better know your competition and around here. And I was like, okay. So I got turned on to him, and I would, like, look and scroll down, and there's this picture, and I think it's your Google picture where, like, you're working, and there's a workstation. I remember thinking, like, how in the fuck does he pull this type of tattoo work off and not get Vaseline in his fucking dreads? And I don't know why I brought that up, other than I just remember thinking about it. But then I seen you tattoo, and I'm like, oh, that's how he does it.
Man, well, dude, I'm blown away that you even, brought one of my old tattoos on the show.
Well, and to see that, I remember, like, how in the fuck, because that looks so fucking real. And then you told me after I started working with you that you hated hearing horror stories of, like, surgeries or seeing blood, which
and
I thought was
or
weird.
Even get my blood taken. To this day, usually I'll pass out. Like, and these were nurses. I did too. And so they literally brought in this equipment, and each, drew blood in each other's arms. I had them take the photo, and already that was making me, like, headed. I had to try and turn that part of my brain off to do this tattoo. But we used a real reference live in the studio. They fucking did it, shot it, took pictures, sent it to me. I stenciled it, and tattooed it on both of them without trying to make myself sick, and that's why I think even when Josh was saying, like, pulling off those double eyes, the more well of a job he does, the more it's going to start fucking with his head. I've always hated snakes, and whenever I do a realistic snake jumping out, the better job I did, the fucking more wigged out I'd get on my own tattoo, and this was one of those. But man, dude, it's awesome.
It's definitely this tattoo gives me a very distinct feeling, because this is what I deal with every couple of weeks. It's just in my chest, but I'm so familiar with this device, So it's weird to see it, like, to look down and see, like, the clamp where you clamp off the tube to, like, start or stop the medication. It definitely gave me a weird feeling. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very realistic. It's awesome because it's, like, really realistic, but it's also painterly.
Yeah.
And then the next
very cool. Very well done.
Is,
On the mic.
Huh? Forgot. Sorry, guys. I'm supposed to speak into the microphone. I'm podcasting right now.
It moves around. If you want to, it'll go where you want to go.
And who is that? Is that Frank Sinatra?
My goodness.
Because I pulled that one up, and I pulled a third one up too. Because this one was fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, it's not Frank Sinatra.
It's Warren Buffett.
I know who this is, but the name is escaping me.
I know it is,
but I'm
too,
familiar with it. It's,
wasn't he the quarterback? Joe Montana?
Refrigerator Perry.
Isn't this Chris Brown?
Well, that's Christopher.
Oh, man.
Dude, everyone knows that's Christopher Walken.
From The Fly.
That's what happens, dude, if you get off on your reference, man.
Right. I love the way that you did the suit. Yeah. The way you kind of brought it down, that triangular shape. That's really, really cool.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
And this is healed, of
The-
course.
Wrinkles in the forehead too, really nice and subtle. That looks really good.
Thanks, Josh.
And like this is
Great.
as I'm coming up and learning and like seeing that like, oh, tattoos can be more than fucking the Tasmanian devil.
Right.
Which is just mind blowing because at this time, like I wasn't even aware. One, yeah, I knew who Brian Brenner was because I remember when I was fucking scratching and dope sick, there was an article in the newspaper. And I would like sit dope sick and like they had spots on TV, public access, or no, maybe it was like regular TV. It was when the boxes came in and there was like commercials for Truth and Triumph. And I remember thinking like, that's fucking insane. Like, how do you even be that fucking cool? And I was still unaware of who Matt was at the time. So once I found out, I seen things. And then the third one is what was that? Is Uncle Saul? Is that fucking
Sigh.
That's Sean King.
Yeah, that's fucking Sean
You
King.
got a tattoo of Sean King.
And
That beard is impressive, though.
there's no fucking round shader in any of this. And I think when I seen this and I actually got to know Matt, and he was like, yeah, it was like 8 hours on the beard.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, man.
So for all our listeners,
I got to
this
be
is-
honest too. Like,
This is proof Matt actually tattooed at one time.
right.
That's right. That's right.
This show was completely a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I used to see the commercials all the time and I'm like, what is this shit? So like one day I just left it on and like immediately I was like, I'm invested. What are these guys going to do next? So
Well, and when we did that tattoo, it was like right when that show came out, and it was season 1. And I was actually, it's funny how things come full circle. This was years ago, over a decade ago. We were at a show in Tennessee. It was put on by Johnny Nobody. And I actually shared a booth with Richie Bulldog from Hustle Butter at that show prior to Richie even being Hustle Butter. In that Uncle Si piece. So we were there, and it was Saturday, and I was fully booked out. And I had my right-hand man, my hype man, Steve Olive, with me, right? And he would run the booth and be the greatest fucking hype man, just full of joy for tattooing and everything. The greatest man to be with you. Well, my Saturday canceled, and it's one of those where, you know, I'm going for a trophy. I'm trying to come out with the best or do the best I can, all that. And my Saturday, cancels last minute. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so I'm adjusting in my head. Thought, well, and I wasn't used to that. Usually I was always like, I'll just go and network and get to watch others for a day and take a break. Steve Olive was there. And the booth next to us, it was traditional artists, and they had Uncle Si Flash drawn out. Steve just went and lifted it up. Well, on the back was the realistic picture of Uncle Si that one of those traditional artists just flipped over and drew a simplified version. And when Steve held that up, I just laughed. And I was like, man, because we're here in Tennessee and shit. I was like, if anyone here actually got that, that would totally win. You know what I'm saying? And Steve was like,
Right.
who is it? And it's like, some new show out on
He didn't
TV.
even know.
Didn't even know who it was.
shit.
He's like, let's fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
That's
like, no,
awesome.
dude, no, it's cool. He's like, yeah, dude, let's fucking do it. I'm like, are you for real?
I love clients like that. I love people like that. Yes.
He's like, run it. Fucking 15, 17 hours later, man, I was wiping him down. It was Sunday, and we entered it from best of show, and it won.
Yes. Of course you did.
It was beautiful.
The trophy's fucking wrapped in mossy oak.
You know
and
what's so
shit.
funny about that?
Right.
Because my dude Steve Olive, he didn't know who the fuck he was, so he wasn't even a fan. Then he went home later. Now, obviously, then when that show got real famous, And it just became a joke to Steve because he never did become a fan, but his own family, like on his wife's side, thought since he got that tattoo that he was a fan. So that year for Christmas, they all bought him like Uncle Si shirts and Uncle Si clothes and shit.
Duck calls.
Yeah, totally.
He's like, what am I going to do with all his camo?
That's right, dude. And he just received it like, yes, thank you.
And he probably fucking rocked it too, knowing Steve.
Him. Man,
That's awesome.
For clarity, the second one I did of the classic portrait was of Humphrey Bogart.
That's
right. Yeah. Humphrey Bogart.
And he's the dude.
Awesome.
And every time a fucking kid gets kicked, an angel gets his wings, isn't it? From fucking West Side Story or whatever.
That's not West Side Story. None of that's right.
I know that. Man, if you ever played the telephone game with Hip, it just depends on how you look at it. You're either for sure losing or winning. Just depends on how you look at it. But oh shit!
Even the part about the angel wings, the first part about kicking something. What was that? It's every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Every time a kid.
Did you say every time you kick a dog?
Kick a kid.
Oh my god! That's how angels get their wings.
Yes.
Good old Humphrey Bogart. I thought that was the new John Wick.
Oh shit, man! Woo! Nice con Hip. He calls it, boy. Calls it. Oh, nice choice. Okay. I'm honored, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Man. Dude, that really blessed
Beautiful
me.
Work, Matt.
For sure, dude. That blessed me. All those tattoos were, over a decade ago. And it was cool to be reminded that even artistically I was an early inspiration to you. And so thank you for that gift today, man.
Oh, yeah. One of the fucking top ones, for sure.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
All right. Next up is Josh.
That's fucking baller.
How cool is this? So this is somebody that I'm newly familiar with. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Indigo Montoya.
Indigo Montoya.
Fallen Heroes tattoo.
I'm gonna go.
And it's just, I don't know. There's something, I'm a sucker for tattoos like this that are just, I don't want to say simple because it's definitely not simple, but like it's not realism, but it's incredibly bold. The color choices, like just the shape of it, the way it fits the arm, everything is just so right about it. It just makes me feel good. I just like immediately, I'm like, I love that tattoo.
Man, the fucking, someone just sent me, I'm on our page right now, and someone just sent me this bass. It's the most recent picture on our page, but yeah, it's like super bold neo-trad. Fucking vibrant. Yeah. And
the saturation is off the charts. Like look at the tip of the ear from the rabbit that's up right now. That looks like it's in the ditch of this person's arm, and it's so solid.
No shit, man.
And I don't know. So the filigree thing with the circles in it, whatever that would be called, the frame.
Yeah, it's not solid black compared to the black around the ear and head. Is that what you're saying?
And I was thinking like either they did the outline and then come back and just hit certain areas, or that's like a 80% neutral gray.
Right. Is that healed and then they came back in for a second session and is this 2 sessions?
I'm betting it's just like a gray, because if you look at the line on the ear, it almost even starts darker by the ear and then kind of gets a little bit lighter.
You're right. You're right. On that top circle.
Really,
yep. Which is like
very cool choice.
Yeah.
It is, and it's like that's, in my opinion, going the extra mile, because it didn't need that. But it did
exactly.
when you see it, and it's like, oh,
exactly.
It puts it off in the distance.
Yeah, that's some really, really good forethought for sure. I love the paw. Whenever people tattoo or draw these these wild hairs, they always have these really beautiful stretched out body positions and stuff. And It's just, I don't know. It's so cool the way that the paw is like stretched out like that, and the choices of like the pink or pinky flesh color.
In the flow, angle of the paw is flowing with, like you said, stretched with the ears and the head. Just the angle of it stretched out is adding flow to it all. You're right.
Yeah, design wise, it's really, really beautiful for sure. I mean, really, technically, the whole thing is, you know.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that it's neo-trad, at least this piece, but she's got them big duct tape lines going through it, which is fun. Because, you know, a lot of times, like, you see this, and the lines are skinnier, daintier, which there's a lot of line weight in this, but it's like she's purposely making a big fatty around, like, what's important.
I love the leaves.
You think she's double lining it and then filling that in, Hip?
I don't know, because, like, Tevenal, man, he'll fucking lay a fucking 14 round like it ain't shit. I have trouble with 14s or 11s. So, like, I'll use a 9 as my biggest liner, and then I'll just lace
easy to trench it, yeah. Those lines in the ear, too, like the thinner, I guess, thinner for her.
On the inside of the ear?
Inside of the ear, yeah. I love those, too. Fuck yeah.
It's fucking great, dude.
Nice pick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Up next is Matt.
Yep. It was the one you showed us last week.
Okay. Well, because last week we even talked about, like, you know, I wanted to do a whole show of this on just different lettering guys. And, you know, like a big lettering guy in our world, or a big inspiration and a brother is Big Meese. And he's a local here from Dayton, Ohio. In our hometown, he's a brother. So for me to bring up lettering guys in the game, I got to shout out my brother Big Meese regardless, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think I know what this tattoo says because it's partially in another language at least.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what it means? So my grandmother's last name is des Enfants, which means of the children. So I'm seeing the word infant, and then it looks like it says terrible. So I'm guessing it means terrible child.
Maybe. Right. This is an artist, Silas Becks. And, you know, he's, to me, for being a lettering artist in the tattoo game, he's, you know, taking it his own direction. And before, you'll see if you follow this page, I mean, anything he designs with, and I don't know the correct terminology, with ink pens, calligraphy pens, but he literally has, Josh, one of those.
Like a fountain pen?
Pens with actual ink in it, and literally hand does the script. And then
I'm looking at this last one, and the one that says today, and there's like an actual drip from the pen, and it's like nailed. Like it looks exactly like you'd expect that to look, you know?
Yes, and he does that on a lot of tattoos. You'll see he'll do collarbones and then blast a bunch of splattered ink. You know.
Oh yeah, there's even one on the knuckle.
Yeah.
Like there's one down on the finger and the knuckle. That's really cool. Wow.
And it's real, obviously, it's real elegant, right?
Yeah.
It's complete gear shift from so many other style of tattooings that are opposite of elegant, bold and hard and heavy as fuck, right? Which is great.
Did you say tattooings?
Did I?
Tattooings? Did I hear a niner in there?
Oh, hopefully not. Hip's been over here talking in a southern accent half the show, and hopefully it's not jumping off on me.
Tattooings.
Yeah, this is just so elegant, you know? And then in the name of body art, and if we're just going to put art on a body, you know, almost like a designer, I just love even the choice of the layouts of these tattoos. But not only the elegance and the precision of the line work and, you know, but even where some of these are placed, like, he'll do some real precise shit across the throat, you know. So yeah,
Matt, I love this. Matt, I love this about you. I'm so stoked that we do these tattoo breakdowns because you you shine so much on that. You're such an artist, that you're just this born artist. And I appreciate that so much, because I don't get to sit down with a lot of people and talk about the nuances.
Yeah.
And I love that you're not just looking at this as lettering, and you realize the actual beauty of the angle that it's at.
That's right.
The line weight.
That's right.
The photography of
That's
it.
right.
I really, really appreciate it from one artist to another, you know, like
My God, Josh. Yeah.
I see exactly what you see. And it's like, because a lot of people would think, yeah, it's lettering. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, this is special.
It is. And you can tell by following that his process is special. You know, like on his page, it'll show him and his client, and there's like an old man in the background, white beard and suspenders, like maybe smoking a pipe, and he's, you know, they're dressed nice, like dapper, sitting in like mood lighting, and he sits down with a calligraphy pen and creates it, then goes to his client. I mean, the whole thing, see, you know, even his presentation is not only artistic, but with a level of class, some old school, you know, it's just, yeah, brother, I'm a fan. And wanted to bring awareness.
Yeah, great choice. This person definitely needs to be seen. I'm sure they probably have a ton of followers on their Instagram, but they should get some more, because this is beautiful.
But you're right, Josh. Even on his presentation, on the second shot, the side of that girl's arm, how he shot it. The fact that he had her put her hand on her hip, just that whole shot from a photographer's standpoint, and to capture that flow where 9.9 artists out of 10 would definitely had her put her arm out or flat and straight.
Wouldn't have even really thought about it. They're just trying to get a good, clear picture of their tattoo.
Yeah.
This guy's, he's continuing. He's an artist from concept to completion, an artist through and through. And I admire the shit out of that.
Right. And so that picture looks more like ornamental on the body. He just created art on her, you know, man.
Yeah, because if done right, like it could be a scribble, you know, and we're seeing some tattoos that are like that. And, you know, when you first see them, they're jarring, you know, it's like, oh my God, why would somebody have this like charcoal mark on their arm, you know?
Right.
But man, when they're done the right way and they flow with the body, come on.
Yeah.
It can be just beautiful.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Great choice.
Thanks.
All right. Up next is Hip.
This is another local legend that fucking.
This is one of the
inspired me.
tattoos that fucked me up when I saw it. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So shortly after knowing and finding out who Matt was, then I found out who Cotterman was. And I'm like, because, you know, the first shop I worked at, I would always sit outside and smoke cigarettes because I really wasn't fucking doing a lot of tattooing. And there was this big truck that would drive by and it said Industrial Inc. or something. And it was located in, I think, Portland, Oregon. And it was right after Kyle opened up Distinction when Mies was working there. And I can't fucking for the life of me remember the guy's name that drove the truck from Oregon, but the first time I went to Evergreen,
He's a great dude too.
I know he is.
Yeah, fuck.
It's like I can see him,
Yeah.
and I can remember what he sounds like, and I watched him tattoo at Evergreen, but I cannot remember his fucking name, and I am a douchebag for that. But yeah, seeing that this
Josh
Hathaway.
Yes.
Yep. Shout out to Josh Hathaway.
There it is. Josh Hathaway.
Yep. And I would watch, and I'm like, well, where the fuck those dudes coming from? And then I shortly met you, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to look up and see what's going on. Then I found out who Big Mies was, and I found out who fucking Cotterman was, and then Josh. And then that opened up to like, oh, you and all these dudes, except for Josh, are all connected to Brenner at Truth and Triumph. And I was like, these are the fucking rock stars I used to watch on TV. So like seeing shit like this again, just like those IVs, it's like, how do you even do shit like this? And I believe the first tattoo, I picked this one because I love this tattoo. I love the muted tones. I love the feel that it gives you of waking up in a forest after a good night's rest, camping with someone, but also like knowing that it's even possible to do shit like this on skin. And the first one I think of Cotterman's that I actually seen was that clown on fire from Twisted Metal, the video game.
Twisted Metal.
I
remember that. I think it was on a hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can almost like smell this tattoo. Like you can almost like, you know, the trees and the smell of the tent.
The campfire is starting to like sizzle out.
The way that he did the light rays, you know how fucked up this could have been in the wrong hands. And I mean, it's just, this tattoo is literally breathtaking. This is one of those tattoos that really kind of helped pave the way of where we're at today. Cotterman has been instrumental in that for quite a while now, actually. I've been lucky enough to have been friends with Kyle for a long time, tattooed him several times, and he's just been so hungry to be where he is today and deserves every bit of it. This is just incredible.
And it's like, this shit was fucking local, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Like, there were times when I would see this shit from people in my own city, and I'm like, dude, that is fucking Photoshopped. There's no way that can be fucking done. And then I would see more from out of state or out of the country, and I'm like, well, of course it's Photoshopped, because they weren't tangible. They weren't real people.
Bring that up because, you know, 10, 12, 15 years ago, you put out any piece like that, because I would get accused of Photoshop weekly whenever I'd make a post. And I remember die laughing. Now that you know me, you know that motherfucker couldn't use Photoshop. His life depended on it. You know? So it was always a compliment to me because I knew my shit wasn't Photoshopped, but they thought it was. I just had to take that as a compliment.
Man,
now we don't get those accusations as much because fucking the awareness to that type of level of work is now increased on everyone's radar. But
it's actually achievable, right?
Yeah. In the beginning, it was like, that ain't real, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Look at the first tent that you see. Like, I just blew it up and looked at it, and it just looks completely real. Like every little texture, like you can feel, you know what that tent feels like, you know?
And you know what I appreciate too, and I have to implement more of this, is like he put the detail where it needed to be. Because if you go up to the shoulder blade and look at the tree leaves and shit, they're just blurry.
Totally blurry.
And fucking start to completely fade away. And it's like, if he would have put detail, it would have just fucked it up. If he would have put more detail and where it didn't even need to be. And it's like, I always need to remember that.
Well, and for, speaking of Kyle being local, because, you know, yeah, me, Kyle, Big Niece, we all came up at Brenner's, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a time.
And I actually still am connected in a way because of St. Mark.
That's right.
So I'm oddly still kind of that 6 degrees of separation thing.
Yeah, you're right. From the same camp. Yep.
Yep.
But I do recall early on, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years into Kyle's journey, he left Dayton and went to Tennessee to work with Josh for a season or a time being.
Yep.
And all I know is once he came back from working with Josh is when the real Kyle Cotterman, and even his understanding of whites, I remember his utilization of a 5-liner with whites precisely and specifically in certain points instead of everywhere. His awareness of dynamic and the execution of when and when not was highly increased after working with Josh for like a season, you know, which was real cool. And I remember, though, you know, it's like the old Buddhist quote, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Like you said, like Josh said, he was hungry, you know, and he had even worked with St. Mark himself. But at that time, with the level Kyle was on and wanting to be, and I remember him pulling me aside, he was the one that originally turned me on to Joshua Carlton. There was one man that he wanted to learn from or study that was like on that cut next level, and it was Joshua Carlton, you know. And then it turned in, he got to meet him and go fucking be with him, kick it, and, you know, and then one thing led to another. And so it is, you know, it is just cool to see. You said you were starting out tonight sharing your top 4 picks of some of your top 4 influences.
Like the beginning of who I've continued to admire and grow into and try to become. This is where it all started.
My God. Very cool.
Yeah. Great pick. I know I keep saying that, but these are such good choices. And shout out to Kyle, man. I miss you. We're looking at your work. It's beautiful. Thank you for all you brought to the tattoo industry, brother.
Yes. Kyle's taught me so much along the way. He was one of my first teachers. I remember early on, Kyle was teaching me how to, tattoo. And early on, I was teaching him how to paint. I remember he was doing a Chris.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he was doing a portrait because I showed up as a portrait artist, muralist, painter, and he wanted to paint, and he was portraits. He could tattoo them, but he was scared to paint them. And he was doing a Christopher Walken painting,
like color of the one you did.
Yes, is Walken Bogart. Yeah. But anyways, and I just
Christopher
remember,
Walken.
That's right. Even teaching Kyle how to use whites on a painting. And Josh, I remember like the highlight on Christopher Walken's nose because, Kyle was putting whites, but then it was soft and blended, like almost scared. And at the end, I literally remember grabbing the brush and showing him how to take a dot a white on the tip of his nose and one little dot, like just 2 dots, and don't blend it or touch or nothing. And which was scary as fuck to him. Then we stepped back and he's like, oh, And so that was even early on when you're surrounded by artists, how we were even sharpening one another. And, Kyle ended up and I went on tour together, on the road together too. So it's just awesome that you're bringing this up and just seeing how, our lives are all connected and how we've influenced one another and continue to.
Yeah. Awesome.
What else we got?
Up next is Josh.
Very cool. Let's see it. Hell yeah, let's switch gears, boy.
Yes. So this is I think it's Ildet, Ian_Ildet. Probably some of my absolute favorite Japanese style of work. Look how bold this is.
Damn, dude.
Like it's just so incredibly saturated and bold. This type of tattooing, I've talked about it on the podcast before. I have to be careful when I go down the rabbit hole of looking at this work because I'm like, fuck realism. I'm going to start studying the shit out of how to do this correctly. Because I believe, and I'm so ignorant to this, I can appreciate the beauty of it, but I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the history of it. So, and I would want to do that. I'd want to deep dive into it. I believe most of these come from like some stories from some like woodblock prints, so, several stories. So I'd want to find out all that information of, what flower goes with what fish and stuff like that. But there's just something about the impact. Imagine this guy walking into your, let's say, Matt, let's say you did this, you're tattooing somebody and he walks in and you're like, oh, how did he heal up? And he pulls his pants up and that's what you see. Right. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just so, and if you go to the website and if you go to his page and look at other stuff, it is all just beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Is it?
I don't know. Like, if any of you listeners out there would want to try something like this with me, I promise you I would give you my best. I would love to try something like this.
What's his Instagram?
His Instagram is Ian_Ildet, ILDET. I don't know. I know that art is subjective, right? So some people aren't even going to, they want the realism or the whatever. But this is, to me, this is incredibly impressive. This is, you guys know as tattoo artists, this is not easy to do. That saturation, that flow.
Amazing.
Being able to like, I don't want to say simple because it's certainly not simple to do, but to simplify the way the dragon's head is just like flat gray.
Yeah, right.
Like it would be so hard for me not to put some more values in there, but I fucking love it.
Man.
Dude, and that's a problem that I have, like actually being able to simplify stuff to fit the guidelines of being like true traditional.
Right.
I always like...
Because I wouldn't want it...
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because I wouldn't want to try it without doing it correctly. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't care if it's beautiful. If I did the wrong fish with the wrong maple leaves or whatever, I don't want to be that fool. You know what I mean?
Well, the crazy thing is, out of all his tattoos, I think you picked one of the more muted ones on
I did,
his
and
page.
I kind of did that on purpose
Yeah.
to show you, like, even at that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of them will literally be a sleeve, and it'll just be like 2 flowers,
Yeah, glowing.
with some leaves, and then just wind bars and a couple. It's just gorgeous.
His colors, he does do when he does pull out bright ones. Even in the piece Josh picked, it's fucking saturated. It's glowing. There's our
Yeah, look at the red sun.
right. There's our circle
just,
again. In a
Yeah.
different way. Yeah, this artist is banging.
It almost looks like designer tattooing to me. It's just high. It just looks like
Oh yeah,
super high end. Like, it's just, I can't put my finger on it, but it gives me the same feeling that tattooing gave me when I first discovered it. When you're a kid and you see, like, your uncle's got a tattoo of a pinup girl and she can dance when he like flexes his arm, and you get that like magic feeling.
yeah,
It gives me that.
yeah.
This still gives me that feeling of tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of designer, like on his page, he did there's a guy in jean shorts rolled up and he did both of his legs. But you could tell it was a thought out design. Like he designed both of his legs. Both of his legs
Yeah.
have some of the same, it's like the same design on both his legs, but mirrored and
Yeah. It seems to me like it'd be a really fun way to tattoo. Like, once you had the entire thing outlined, and then you're just like, okay, today's black day. We're going to go in and we're going to fill in all the black background. Like if you look at the scales on the one I posted, like we're just going to do these scales this simple way. We're going to trust that even though it's simple, it's going to be more that way. And, yeah. I think because it's so far from what I do, it's easy for me to get that like sucked into that magical feeling again,
Mm-hmm. Right. That's right. That's why I appreciate so much art, even more so because I don't do it, Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And if you go back to the one that I originally posted, do you think that there's white in those faces, or is that just so packed around it that it gives you the illusion? I mean, it's really pale.
Yeah, dude. I'd say negative space, but to me, I wondered, is there white just in the eyes?
Man, you really think
wonder.
that's negative space?
Their faces are negative space.
It might be because, like, dude, and this is how contrast works. Because if you look up at his top of his thigh, that's where the farmer's tan doesn't hit. It's because
Right.
this is a dude, and so if that skin up there is pale white, but if you look at the skin on the two severed heads, they look completely saturated in white.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Which
I think it's just so well planned out that it's
right.
the contrast.
I think it's a test to
And-
what Josh screams, that negative space done right
Yes,
fucking is powerful.
Like I recently did a Darth Maul tattoo, and 2 months ago even, I would have put way more white in it, and I left much more skin. I highlighted the nose and like a couple of little spots, and it took me everything for me to back off. But I got to see the tattoo the next day, kind of settled, and I'm so happy I let the skin come through. It can give me those highlights that I don't have to worry about them turning yellow or looking fake or plasticky. So I'm really working on that, trying to really embrace that negative,
Yeah.
And a real like true traditionalist might not even appreciate this tattoo because the wind bars they're opaque, and it's so much of this is done with washes. I'm really okay with this. I like both, you know what I mean? Like, look at the work of Shige from Yellow Blaze, Jeff Gogwe, but I'm just a sucker for this.
Yeah, dude.
You see how geeked out I started getting about it. I just still love tattooing. It's crazy how much I love tattooing still.
Yeah. Yeah, nice pick. Yeah, thanks for turning me on to this artist. I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Matt.
And okay. Okay.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the last one, or how many more we got?
This is your last pick. Yep.
Okay. It's fun because I forget what I picked. I was like, wonder what picture's coming.
I'm going to play the Jeopardy music
I
during
was gonna
this.
say, we don't have it yet, Mike.
It's 2 videos.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Jesus, that tattoo's ridiculous. It's like taking me a second to like gather myself here. So Stevo Tattoo. I'm not familiar with this person at all.
Yeah, I wasn't either till recently. And talk about from an artistic standpoint, a designer standpoint, a realism standpoint, a value standpoint, and lettering too, and the usage of
The
it.
second video says healed.
Yeah, right.
And talk about negative space in the face right there. Oh, you got me. I got chills on this one, man. Oh my gosh.
Good. Yeah.
Look at
So
those
let's talk about
dots
this
at the
first
top.
one, Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one's first? Is it the healed one or the other one?
The one before that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, great.
Do you think that that's actual lettering, or is that just like designed for design's sake? It's interesting.
Kind of like mayonnaise.
Yes, that's my first thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great question. I do know there's more evidence on his actual page. Even this piece on his page, it will show healed, more angles. I originally thought it was actual lettering incorporated, and it was a piece of or part of a message. But now that you bring it up, maybe it is more just the design.
I mean, it's like, right.
Either way,
this is such power proof of contrast. You know, when I was looking at your Humphrey Bogart piece, I was noticing that you really had dialed in these beautiful black shapes. You know, I'm always such a fan of that.
Yeah.
Like on the lip of the Bogart, you had this like little just black simple shape that's so ballsy because you know before you shade off of it, it doesn't look real, and it gets all like, oh, is this gonna work?
Yeah.
This is such a good example of why yes, that does work. Because again, with the negative, I'm gonna guess that that's not packed with white. It certainly doesn't need to be. If they did pack it with white, they're the best at that in the world.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's negative, brother. And yeah, the smooth transitions, because it's like black, gray, opaques. I love the overlapping. You know, obviously just the
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got the black. Let's call it a letter for the sake of this.
Yeah.
On top of the eye.
Yeah.
The top of our left side is black and then fades down, and then on the cheek it's like this beautiful gray, and it's just like design wise, I'm just like, man, it's just
back on top of the eye, and then like going into almost like the eye socket, that part of the letter that curves on the forehead, how it gets light as it gets into towards the pit of the eye. I think leaving that light, the temptation for me to just shade that towards the black would have been so high. But the fact that, it gets lighter before it hits that black for another piece of contrast on the bridge of the nose there, it's just so fucking well done, sir.
Yes. This is probably one of my very favorites we've ever looked at on this since we've been doing these. I'm definitely going to dive into this page.
Yeah.
Not an American, probably, right?
Oh man, and I should know. Again, I just found him myself. Let me check to confirm that. But yeah, dude.
Because if he's American, I'm getting on a plane. I should get on a plane anyway.
No, he's not. Malta?
Okay. Malta.
Where's Malta?
Sounds like something that Hip had. some scratching the Malta.
Puts hair on your chest.
But he does
Right.
do a shitload of traveling, and so
Let's get him to
Malta might
Evergreen.
just be where he's from. Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, this second video too, the way he's like, he did the overlap, but it's in negative. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm so glad you guys love it. Yeah, it's just so warm. And again, when you creep on his page, your mind's gonna be blown. And it's like almost like for us artists, chicken soup for the soul. Josh, it's just gonna be like like finding your new best favorite album.
Yeah, like I'm seriously like I just can't wait to just look into this more. You know.
Yeah, Baba. Yeah, man.
So on the second one, the way that the lettering or whatever this is, these shadows kind of just pour over her forehead, but it's this like see-through opaque, like from a technical point of view, we all know how incredibly difficult that would be to pull off.
Yes.
And it's just healed and flawless.
Yeah. And look how black, like the letter at the top coming out, the design, and off to this, like, and at the bottom, like, because there's so darks everywhere, but none of it's as black as then you see certain blacks. Again, just the layers.
Yeah,
of
it's like
values.
he establishes, he's like, this is my darkest dark, and I'm going to use possibly 2 different blacks even to give myself, you know, different varying degrees. Like the black in the background, the lettering, the design, maybe there's a different black in her face. Stunning. Yeah. Fucking stunning.
And then the drop shadow of her face is just like the weird negative space or negative developed.
Yeah, like just negative. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But he's
So yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, like so many people are so good now. So this is another good example of like, we, you know, everybody's good. We can all put in solid black now, but what are you bringing to the table? And this is a great example because there's so much stuff I feel like is like repetitive. Like this reminds me of Waller Montero's stuff, but not like copying him or anything like that. It's like, it's more like if you like Waller, you like this. If you like Thomas, you like this. You know what I mean?
But then just by him
that.
infusing like the lettering vibe.
Yeah, that adds a whole nother completely. These are the kind of people that like make careers for other artists. Like this person will likely do this for a while and then they'll move on to something else. And another artist will kind of pull that from them and like literally have an entire career based on that.
Right.
You know?
I know it. Yeah. So dope. So dope. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised, Josh, especially on that second one, healed. I mean, he's got Joshua Carlton softness around his shit. I wouldn't be surprised if even you, Josh, unknowingly has been an influence in this man's journey.
I would be honored. That'd be amazing to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you look at that and he's like, well, he was inspired by Carlton, right? For real.
Am I seeing on the second video when it turns towards the back of the thigh, am I seeing a little bit of a skull? Like above her finger? Is that like the nasal cavity and then there's the eye sockets above it? Or is that just...
It might be. I forget.
It's like maybe it's leaves from the flower, but it also kind of looks like a skull.
Right. Oh, you're right, man. You're oh my God. You got such great eyes, man. Because I had to go to his page to look. And I think you're right.
It's like it's both, right? It's like it's leaves from the flower she's holding, but it also represents this very stylized skull. Maybe not even on purpose, but it works.
Yeah. So well done. Does say it was done over 2 days.
That's good. That makes me feel better.
Right.
Yeah. For our listeners out there too, if you are enjoying us doing this and you have some artists you'd really like to see us break down, please put it in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube.
But I did find a skull he did on his page, and it's fucking mind-blowing with leaves. So,
man.
Yeah. Happy day. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, we wouldn't fully do our job if someone isn't like, fuck, for a second.
Right.
Just kidding. Who we got, Mike?
We have 2 left, both from hip.
Okay.
2 left.
Yeah, you picked 4 artists.
Oh, you mean 2 pictures. Okay.
Oh yeah. I've talked about this one before for sure.
Yep. And, I just picked one that the world knows, but ultimately any one of them are great. And this is how I learned how to saturate fucking color, by continuously watching his video over and over and over again. And it's where I learned about what the fuck periwinkle is. I didn't know what the fuck periwinkle was. Still don't know how to use it as well as he does.
So for the people that can't see the video that are listening in their car, this is the full back piece from Nico Hurtado. I believe it's on, I think this is on Megan Massacre's back. I could be wrong.
Megan Jean, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Which just the entire one butt cheek, having the balls to just make it fucking cloth.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my mind instantly is like, that's not.
What can I put there? How can I fill this in? Yeah.
But you're not. I see the ass cheek and then the little bit of the upper or lower back as like there needs to be something there to draw attention. He's looking at it as like that's the entire canvas. So no, there doesn't need to be anything there, and there doesn't.
Yeah. And that's a good way to look at it too, because as a tattoo artist, we do that. On a sleeve, we're like, here's some main elements, and then everything else is filler. You know what I mean? But like this is just like one giant picture. That's just like this could have been a sleeve. You could just wrap the entire image around an arm. And it's such a beautiful way to think about it. I think that's why it's important for artists to do thumbnail sketches, because you don't have the room to try to squeeze all those little ideas that you and the client think are going to be super cool, and they end up being filler.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, it's just cloth.
And the way he utilized the ass crack and like went with those soft opaques going closer to it, which I wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because it's almost, he's like, and this may be a little low, but that's the chest area on the tattoo, but it's actually her gluteus maximus.
Right.
But I would have done the dark black coming from the ass crack versus coming down into the ass crack and lightening up, and it actually works that way. And how he's got the apple splitting and then falling inward, but you can't tell because like he's using the body for the art.
Yeah, and the weird perspective of the axe could have gone really awry. You could have had this beautiful Little Red Riding Hood tattoo, and then the axe just, the positioning of it could have gone wrong, and it totally works. Absolutely.
It almost
and the reflection,
is like a
the
belt.
metal.
In a way, if you look at it too, because man, this is just great composition. Where the Little Red Riding Hood's cloak is riding up and bunching up is about where if she had a dress on and had a belt around her waist would bunch up in the same place, and the axe almost even looks like it could be a belt on her.
Right. Yeah, it's a genius. Nico was always so incredibly ahead of his time. You know what I mean? He still is to this day. It's, how many people he's influenced? It's unreal.
Man. And, to bring this all to a closing and a whole, like I started with Matt, which in turned me into like Cotterman, which then I found out who Brenner was. You said we got another one? Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot.
Bring it. Hip's fourth inspiration.
Bam.
Aw.
Hell yeah.
And now I can say what I was going to say.
Damn, this tattoo's so fucking sick, boy. I can't believe it. Looking at it, it still blows my mind. It gives me all those chills, Josh. And even to look at it, it's like, man, and I actually watched that happen in person, and it still blows my mind. It's one of those, like, I was there live at the show, and I still can't tell you what happened.
It still looks identical to this, too. Yeah. And
that's so important to me. You know what I mean? Healed work is so important to me.
And this is fresh. This picture, and my skin's not irritated. This is by the ankle where it usually bleeds like crazy because it's so far from the heart, and it's not. Now, granted, there was a wipe down, but still, like, you can see there's no irritation. Skin ain't beat up. And if you zoom in at the ankle, you see all that little texture of round shader work that's in there to give like that stompy of the brush feel. And yeah, so I got turned on to Matt, and then that introduced me to like Cotterman and Mies and fucking Cookie and all these other legends that were local. And then I remember watching fucking Ink Master, or even before that, I went to Bickney when they were down by West Virginia. And I got Joshua Carlton's book, and I fucking highlighted in it and wrote notes, and I didn't even know what he fucking looked like. And I've shared that with you before. I wasn't even sure what you look like until fucking that first time I met you and you were pouring me Coke, and I thought you were going to be like 18 feet tall. But like, you taught me how to tune my machines. And then I found, Matt talked about you, and I'm like, oh, you like him too? Yeah, his shit's fucking crazy. He's like, I've met him. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You've met him? And then come to find out, it all come full circle because it all originated from, like you just had touched on it a little bit ago, Josh, from St. Mark. And it's like that family tree. And it's like, what a fucking great family tree to be a part of. This is the bloodline, and it's like, man, I share a little bit of the fucking bloodline, and that's amazing.
I'm honored to be a part of it, man. Thank you for choosing me.
And
thank you for trusting me to do such an important tattoo on you.
Dude, yeah. And I could go to any fucking tattoo, but this one was a little sentimental, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Plus the fun in it. And after it was done, and like you and Sean went back to Indiana, Matt was like, dude, he was like fucking doing shit to the forehead, and I was like, oh my God, what's he doing? And it fucking worked and came out, and I was like, man, sometimes I wish I could get in these artists' minds and like view things, even if it was like, give me 60 seconds in your head during a process.
That would be cool. That would probably actually help a lot with arguments with my wife if I could just see what she sees. I'd be like, oh, I am being a piece of shit, aren't I?
Man, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, me being an artist, got to sit and watch Joshua Carlton be an artist doing that piece of your dad on your leg. And when we got to the top of the head, and I am looking at his reference, and I'm like, trying to learn, right? Which caused me, and I don't think I asked many questions, but when we got to the top of the head is when I asked something where I thought maybe he was gonna veer, whatever. But I realized in that moment, the whole time, but especially in that moment, is when Josh became an artist, like where I should really just pull up a chair and fucking shut the fuck up and just watch and take notes. But there was a part of me that already thought I knew what he was going to do, which is what framed my line of questioning with him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me just watching, right? I don't know. I feel like there's something more to that. Even us as students, when we want to learn, even when we're learning, we're already pre-thinking what we think we're about to learn.
Right. Yeah, I was teaching a live workshop the other night, and I was talking about how I love teaching, and one of the reasons was because it will remind me of like, oh, that's why I do this. By saying it out loud to other people, I'm like, I didn't even really know why I did that, but now that I've explained it to somebody, it makes sense to me,
Yeah, dude. That's beautiful, man. Oh, this was a fun one. Nice picks today, guys. Real good versatility. Real good inspiration today.
See, I can do not just realism. I can share that.
No shit. Yeah, he came out with that Japanese stuff. Totally switched gears.
Yeah.
The irony of that dude seems to be not the irony, but I think he's in Italy, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, looked like it, which was
I do
cool.
think so. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there could be someone in another country be like, man, that Jeff Godway, I think he's in the U.S. I think he's in Oregon.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a revelation, you know, because some people grow up in cities that become good tattoo artists that like look up to people that are nowhere near them, and it's like just so happens like I was surrounded by greatness.
No shit. Who'd you have dinner with last night?
Brian Brenner.
Yeah.
Nice.
We
Nice.
both did in our little TBM break. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He joined TBM last night. You know.
Very cool.
Yeah. And he reached out. He was like, man, can I come kick with you guys? Man, I just want to recharge. And I'm like, sure, brother. But when he showed up to dinner, man, and I was like, my tank was running pretty low, he was the one ended up charging me. You know?
Nice.
And isn't it great when we surround ourselves with people and just our presence alone will charge one another up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man. I love kicking it with you guys. Thank you, Hip.
Same here.
Thanks for honoring both of us today, Hip. It was a real treat and a real surprise.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't know
Thank
that was
you.
coming.
Yeah, I feel bad I didn't do it on the first one now. And now you guys like doing trad shit. And the first one I was doing a bunch of trad shit. I don't know, it just seemed fitting. It just came to me like, why haven't I fucking honored motherfuckers yet? Like, geez, dude.
Thank
But
you.
I'm defeated again, so it fucking worked.
It's another good one. We came out with some bangers, huh?
Man.
Woo! Yeah. Well, I'm coming on this show with you two badasses. I ain't going to bring no bullshit. I'm trying to bring something to make you guys be like, damn. Thank you, Brother Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all, Tattoo Guardians all across the world. Man, let us know in the comments who was your favorite picks of today. I wonder if there's a common
Who do you
thread.
want to see in the future?
That's right. Oh, and who do you want to see in the future?
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering if there's like most of the audience really leans towards like Kip's picks or Josh picks more than, you know.
Sure.
What was your favorite picks? I mean, I'm sure you respected and loved them all, but did you have a favorite? What was it? And yeah, like Josh said, we're going to do more of these. Who do you think deserves, and who do we need to know about? Who should we shout out?
Right.
Thanks for tuning in every week. We'll see you next week, y'all.
Man, what time is it? 12:14 a.m. Matt, I don't know about you, but I like coffee.
You know I do every day, all day.
Man, and I could go for one right now. So our listeners, did you know that you can buy us a coffee?
For real?
Yeah. All
Why
I
would
gotta
they do that?
Well, if you like what we do and you support our show and you appreciate our content, you can just go and click that little button that our producer Mike puts in every show and buy us a coffee just to show your contribution that you appreciate what we do for you to
Are you
help
for
us
real?
out.
People can really buy us a coffee.
Totally.
I'd be honored if you bought me a coffee.
And not only that, but we got a little spot. It's special for the VIP listeners. It's called Close Friends on Instagram. And on there, you can see some behind the scenes content. And when the cameras ain't running, seeing all the shit we'd be talking about each other.
Is that true, Mike? Damn, you guys, this is the first I've heard about either of these. So they can buy you or me a coffee.
Or Mr. Carlton.
Or Mr. Carlton. And like get a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Yeah.
By doing what again?
Fucking smashing that button.
Okay. What button you talking about? I want to smash the button.
It's the button on the fucking thing.
Okay. Do it. Just do it.
Absolutely demolish the button. But thanks for your time again, and we appreciate all our listeners.
Always.